The misdirected signal. The crystalline ship, Voice of Harmony, glided through the darkness of the silent rim, its elegant form reflecting distant starlight. Inside, Chief Communications Officer Zenra's fingers trembled as they danced across the emergency broadcast console. The raiders' ships had already begun their approach, their cutting beams preparing to slice through the diplomatic vessel's hull. The primary communications array is completely jammed, Zenra reported to Ambassador Lyraven, his superior's silver-scaled face reflecting the red emergency lights. They are blocking all standard frequencies. The ambassador's forefingered hand steadied his subordinate's shoulder. The auxiliary system, can we reach the Celestial Alliance? Around them, the ship's diplomatic delegation of 30 luminary, beings evolved for intellectual rather than physical prowess, huddled in the central chamber. Their species had always relied on allies for protection, their bodies designed for thought rather than combat. The raiders knew this, which made luminary vessels prime targets. I can try to modify the old frequency transmitter, Zenra said, his elongated fingers flying across the holographic interface. But I'll need to calculate the exact coordinates for. A violent shudder ran through the ship. The raiders had attached their boarding tubes. Do it, the ambassador ordered. Send the emergency coordinates to the Alliance outpost in the Arcturus sector. They are our only hope. Zenra worked frantically, rerouting power to the auxiliary transmitter. In his haste, or perhaps due to the ship's damaged systems, a single digit in the spatial positioning matrix shifted. The error went unnoticed as he launched the transmission. The SOS signal, encoded with detailed information about their location and situation, shot out into space. But instead of reaching the intended Alliance outpost, it hurtled toward coordinates that made most spacefaring races shudder: Sol System, home of the notorious Deathwalders. Deep in Earth's Strategic Command Center, Lieutenant Ryota Tanaka sat bolt upright at his monitoring station. General, we're picking up an emergency transmission. It's not meant for us. General Victoria Nash approached the console, her cybernetic eyes focusing on the decoded signal. At 60, she'd overseen humanity's quiet military buildup while the rest of the galaxy dismissed Earth as a barbaric backwater. Source: a diplomatic vessel in the Silent Rim. They are under attack by raiders. Tanaka's augmented display showed the vessel's specifications. It's a luminary ship, sir. The signal appears to have been meant for the Celestial Alliance, but there's a clear error in their positioning matrix. Nash's expression hardened. The luminary, she knew of them. A species of philosophers and diplomats who viewed humanity as dangerous primitives. Like most of the galaxy, they'd supported keeping Earth isolated, classified as too violent to join the wider galactic community. How many raider vessels, she asked, already reaching for the command interface? 5 heavy assault ships, sir. The luminary vessel is completely surrounded. Nash allowed herself a grim smile. For years, Earth had been building its forces in secret, creating ships and weapons that could operate in conditions most aliens found impossible. They'd been waiting for the right moment to show the galaxy that humanity wasn't just some primitive species to be contained. Alert the Rapid Response Fleet, she ordered, activating her neural link to Earth's military command. This message may not have been meant for us, but we're answering anyway. Prepare the Thunder of Terra, the Righteous Fury, and the Vengeance of Sol for immediate deployment. Sir, Tanaka hesitated, the Celestial Alliance has explicitly forbidden Earth vessels in that sector. Then they should have protected it better. Nash's cybernetic eyes glowed with intensity. Humanity has watched from the sidelines long enough. If the galaxy thinks we're dangerous, let's prove them right, by being dangerous to those who prey on the innocent. Throughout Earth's military installations, klaxons began to sound. Ships that had been waiting years for this moment powered up their engines. Crews of humans, evolved on a world that had tried to kill them with every breath, rushed to battle stations. The signal might have been meant for allies, but Earth was going to answer with something the raiders never expected: the full fury of a species that had survived everything their homeworld could throw at them. Send word to the fleet, Nash commanded. This is what we've been waiting for. Show them why they call Earth a death world. Humanity's response. The thunder of Terra dropped out of hyperspace like an angry god awakening. Behind it, the righteous fury and vengeance of Sol emerged in perfect attack formation. These weren't the sleek, crystalline ships favored by most galactic species. Earth's warships were brutal, pragmatic machines built to survive conditions that would crush most alien vessels. Captain Jackson Chen watched the tactical display from the Thunder's bridge, his dark eyes reflecting the holographic readout. The raiders had already breached the luminary vessel's outer hull, their boarding tubes attached like parasites to the elegant diplomatic ship. Status report, Chen barked, his augmented vocal cords carrying his voice clearly through the controlled chaos of the bridge. 5 raider vessels confirmed, Lieutenant Priya Devi reported from Tactical. Her neural interface sparked as it processed combat data. They are using Shadowclaw-class assault ships. Illegal weapons signatures detected. They are not expecting company. Chen's lips curved into a predatory smile. Earth had spent decades preparing for this moment, building ships that could withstand the harshest conditions in space. The raiders were about to learn why Earth was classified as a death world. All ships, combat formation Delta, he ordered. Load the kinetic penetrators. Power up the mass drivers. Let's show them what real firepower looks like. The raiders noticed them then. Their ships began to turn, energy weapons charging, weapons designed to disable the shields of civilized species who followed galactic conventions. But Earth wasn't part of their conventions. Sir, they are broadcasting a warning, Communications Officer Miguel Torres announced. They are claiming this is sovereign territory of the Crimson Cartel. They are ordering us to withdraw. Send them our response, Chen commanded. Full spectrum. The thunder of Terra's forward batteries lit up the void. Instead of energy weapons, massive tungsten rods accelerated to near-relativistic speeds tore through space. The raiders' shields, designed to deflect energy weapons, might as well have been tissue paper. The first rod struck the nearest raider ship dead center. There was no explosion, no dramatic fireball, just the clean puncture of hyperdense metal through hull plating, followed by the ship's atmosphere venting violently into space. Direct hit, Davy reported with clinical precision. Their shield technology is ineffective against kinetic weapons. They've never seen anything like this. The remaining raiders scrambled to respond, their formation breaking apart like startled birds. Their energy weapons lashed out, beautiful beams of coherent light that splashed harmlessly against the Thunder's ablative armor. They are trying to contact their reinforcements, Torres reported. Should I jam their communications? No, Chen replied, standing from his command chair. Let them call for help. Let them tell everyone what happens when you encounter Earth's military. All ships, execute attack pattern Epsilon. Show no mercy to slavers and raiders. The righteous fury and vengeance of Sol moved in perfect coordination, their own mass drivers joining the symphony of destruction. The raiders' ships, built for quick strikes against defenseless prey, found themselves facing predators from a world that had forged humanity in violence and survival. Inside the luminary vessel, Ambassador Lyraven watched in astonishment through the ship's few functioning sensors. The beings they had dismissed as primitive were demonstrating military prowess that bordered on the impossible. Their ships moved with devastating precision, their weapons ignored defensive technologies that had been standard for centuries. Status of the boarding parties. Chen demanded. Internal sensors show they are retreating to their ships, Davy answered. They've never encountered ground resistance like our Marines. Earth's Marines, wearing powered armor that let them operate in environments that would kill most species, were systematically clearing the luminary vessel. Their weapons, like their ships, relied on physical projectiles rather than energy beams, simple, brutal, and effectively unstoppable. Message from the lead raider vessel, Torres announced. They are offering to surrender. Chen's expression remained hard. Inform them that under Earth Military Code Section 7, dealing with slavers and raiders, surrender is accepted only with immediate compliance. They will power down all systems and prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with terminal force. The raiders, faced with weapons they couldn't defend against and soldiers they couldn't kill, had no choice. One by one, their ships went dark. Launch the containment teams, Chen ordered. I want those ships secured and their crews in custody within the hour. And get our medical teams to the Luminary vessel. As Earth's forces efficiently secured the area, Ambassador Lyra Venn realized that their mistaken distress signal had done more than save their lives. It had revealed a power that the galaxy had desperately tried to ignore, a species that didn't just survive on a death world, but had turned that experience into unprecedented military might. The galaxy was about to change. Their message had been meant for allies, but the response they got was something far more significant: the unveiling of humanity's full potential. Shockwaves through the stars. The Grand Assembly Chamber of the Celestial Alliance hummed with barely contained chaos. Hundreds of species representatives argued in a cacophony of translated voices, their anger and fear palpable. The massive hologram floating in the center of the chamber showed footage that had spread across galactic communications networks like wildfire: Earth warships decimating a raider fleet with weapons that defied conventional defense systems. High Counselor Vexnar, a towering figure of the respected Etherian race, raised all four of their arms for silence. The footage is authentic, they announced, their crystalline voice cutting through the din. 3 Earth vessels destroyed or captured 5 Crimson Cartel warships in under 15 minutes. They suffered 0 casualties. Impossible, shouted the Zuraxian delegate, their bioluminescent patches flashing with agitation. We've contained the humans on their death world for decades. Their technology should be centuries behind ours. Evidently, Vexnar replied dryly, our assessment was flawed. Ambassador Lyra Venn stood before the assembly, still wearing the formal robes of the Luminary Diplomatic Corps, though they were now scarred by weapons fire. I was there, they said, their musical voice carrying an unusual edge. Our signal was meant for the Alliance patrol fleet. Instead, Earth answered. And they did not just save us, they demonstrated military capabilities that surpass anything in known space. The chamber erupted again. The Luminari were known for their measured, logical assessments. Such a statement from one of their ambassadors carried enormous weight. Show them, Lyra Venn commanded. The central hologram shifted to display technical data from their Voice of Harmony's sensors. It showed the Earthship's kinetic weapons passing through advanced shields as if they didn't exist. It displayed footage of Earth Marines in powered armor operating in hard vacuum without difficulty, their projectile weapons ignoring personal shield systems that had been standard for centuries. While we dismissed them as primitives, Lyra Venn continued, they were building something we never considered: weapons that ignore our greatest defensive technologies. Ships that can survive conditions we thought impossible. Soldiers evolved from a death world, enhanced further by their own technology. In orbit above Earth, General Victoria Nash watched the assembly broadcast with grim satisfaction. Beside her, Fleet Admiral Roberto Ortiz studied the tactical readouts from the engagement. They are terrified, Ortiz observed, his weathered face creased in a smile. Decades of treating us like savages, and now they realize we've been building an entire military doctrine they can't counter. Nash nodded. The Crimson Cartel's ships used the most advanced shield technology in the galaxy. Energy deflectors, particle barriers, quantum field generators, and our tungsten rods went through them like paper. Sometimes the simplest solution is the most effective. Back in the assembly, the Mechanoid Collective's representative, a being of pure energy contained within an advanced robotic shell, spoke. The implications are staggering. While we focused on ever more complex energy weapons and shields, the humans developed an entirely different path. Their primitive, kinetic weapons bypass our defenses because we never considered them a threat. And now, demanded the Zuraxian delegate, we give them free rein to intervene across the galaxy? These Deathwolders with their brutal weapons. Ambassador Lyra Venn's voice cut through the rising panic. They saved my ship and my entire diplomatic delegation when our own allies were too far away to help. Yes, their methods are direct, even brutal by our standards. But consider this, they used this overwhelming firepower not to conquer, not to destroy, but to protect. The hologram shifted again, showing Earth Marines providing medical aid to injured Luminari, their powered armor moving with surprising gentleness as they helped the wounded. Perhaps, Lyra Venn continued, we have been wrong about humanity. We saw their violent history, their harsh world, and assumed they could never be more than savages. But they have turned that violence into protection, that harshness into strength. The signal was meant for allies, and allies answered, just not the ones we expected. In Earth orbit, Nash received a priority communication. General, we're detecting multiple ships dropping out of FTL at the edge of the system. Signatures match Celestial Alliance diplomatic vessels. Nash straightened her uniform. Well, it seems they are finally ready to talk. Prepare my shuttle. Let's show them that humanity can be diplomatic too, even if we keep our kinetic weapons charged, just in case. The incident had done more than save a single diplomatic vessel. It had shattered centuries of assumptions about humanity's place in the galaxy. The species that had been contained and dismissed had revealed itself to be a sleeping giant, one with capabilities that redefined the balance of power. As Nash's shuttle prepared to meet the Alliance diplomats, she couldn't help but smile. Sometimes the best way to earn respect wasn't through fancy technology or political maneuvering, but through good old-fashioned human ingenuity, and enough firepower to make the galaxy think twice about dismissing Earth ever again. A partnership born in fire. The conference room aboard the Thunder of Terra wasn't designed to impress alien diplomats. Like everything else humans built, it was functional, sturdy, and meant to withstand catastrophic damage. Yet now it hosted the most significant diplomatic meeting in Earth's spacefaring history. General Victoria Nash sat at one end of the reinforced table, her cybernetic eyes scanning the assembled aliens. Ambassador Lyra Venn led the Luminari delegation, while High Counselor Vexnar represented the Celestial Alliance. Most surprising was the presence of Warmaster Korg of the Verdant clans, a species that had long viewed humanity with particular disdain. Let's address the quantum elephant in the room, Nash began, her augmented voice calm and measured. You're not here because you suddenly love humanity. You're here because what happened in the Silent Rim changed everything. Warmaster Korg's scaled skin shifted colors in acknowledgement. For centuries, we dismissed Earth as a barbaric backwater. We thought containing you was wisdom. Now we realize it was possibly the greatest strategic mistake in galactic history. Holographic displays activated around the room, showing footage from the raid intervention. Earth ships executing maneuvers that should have torn them apart. Kinetic weapons bypassing the most advanced shields. Marines operating in conditions that would kill most species. While we focused on elegant solutions, Ambassador Lyra Venn added, humanity embraced the brutal efficiency of their death world evolution. They didn't try to overcome the harsh conditions of space, they built ships and weapons that thrived in them. Captain Chen, who had led the rescue operation, stepped forward. What you call brutal efficiency, we call survival. Earth taught us that the universe doesn't care about elegance. It cares about what works. The displays shifted to show the captured raider ships. Their advanced technology had proved useless against humanity's primitive approach. High Counselor Vexnar's upper arms moved in a gesture of concession. The Crimson Cartel has terrorized the outer regions for decades, they said. Their shield technology was thought unbreakable. Yet human kinetic weapons, how do you say it? Cut through them like butter. Like hot butter, Nash corrected with a slight smile. And that's just what we're willing to show you. The implied threat wasn't subtle, but it wasn't meant to be. Humanity had hidden its true capabilities for decades. They weren't about to reveal everything just because of one successful intervention. Warmaster Korg leaned forward, their battle-scarred carapace catching the light. The Verdant clans have lost 17 ships to raiders in the past solar cycle. Our energy weapons are useless against their latest shields. But your kinetic weapons could end the raider threat permanently, Nash finished. If we had the right motivation. Ambassador Lyra Venn's silver-scaled face reflected the holographic light. Our signal was meant for allies. Instead, we found something more valuable, partners who can do what we cannot. A partnership. Nash raised an eyebrow. I thought we were too primitive for the civilized galaxy. Perhaps, Vexnar interjected, civilization needs a reminder that survival sometimes requires strength. The Celestial Alliance has grown complacent. We create ever more elaborate energy weapons while pirates and raiders adapt to counter them. But you humans. We kept it simple, Chen said. Mass times acceleration equals don't mess with Earth. The aliens exchanged glances, their translation systems struggling with the colloquialism but understanding the sentiment. We propose a joint defense initiative, Lyraven said. Your ships, your weapons, protecting trade routes and diplomatic vessels. In exchange, you get full access to Alliance technology and trade networks. Nash's cybernetic eyes glowed subtly. And our containment status? Lifted, Vexnar declared. The assembly vote was unanimous after seeing the raid footage. Fear of human violence has been replaced by fear of not having humans as allies. Interesting how perspective changes, Nash mused, when you realize the primitive species you've been containing has better weapons than you do. Warmaster Korg made a sound that might have been a laugh. The Verdant clans have a saying, the most dangerous predator is the one you dismiss as prey. Earth has its own saying, Nash responded. Don't start none, won't be none. The translation system struggled again, but the meaning was clear. Humanity was ready to step onto the galactic stage, not as savages to be contained, but as equals to be respected and perhaps feared. We accept your proposal, Nash said finally. But understand this, Earth plays by Earth rules. We protect our allies with everything we have, but we don't bow to political pressure about how we do it. The aliens nodded, understanding that the galaxy's balance of power had shifted irrevocably. A signal meant for allies had instead revealed a sleeping giant, one whose primitive approach to warfare had proven devastatingly effective. As the diplomatic party prepared to depart, Ambassador Lyraven approached Nash privately. That distress signal was the best mistake we ever made, they said softly. We called for allies but found warriors instead. Nash's smile was both warm and predatory. Sometimes the best allies are the ones who know how to fight. Rise of the Deathworlders. 6 months after the Silent Rim incident, the galaxy had changed beyond recognition. The observation deck of Earth's newly constructed orbital diplomatic center offered a stunning view of humanity's transformation from contained species to galactic superpower. Below, the sprawling shipyards of Terra bristled with activity. Earth vessels, once confined to their solar system, were now being modified to accommodate alien crews. Alongside them, massive new warships took shape, joint projects combining human durability with alien innovations. Admiral Victoria Nash, recently promoted from general, stood beside Chief Engineer Zenra, the luminary whose mistaken distress signal had started it all. The former communications officer had become the primary liaison for technological integration between species. Another Crimson Cartel stronghold fell yesterday, Nash commented, watching a holographic tactical display. That makes 17 in the past month. Zenra's silver-scaled face reflected the Earth sunset. The raiders never adapted to your kinetic weapons. They kept expecting you to fight like the rest of the galaxy. That's always been humanity's advantage, Nash replied. We don't fight like the rest of the galaxy expects. The tactical display shifted to show the latest operation. Earth warships, now bearing the joint insignia of the Human Alliance Defense Force, had systematically dismantled what was once considered an impregnable pirate fortress. Their kinetic weapons had torn through defensive shields designed to stop energy weapons, while Earth Marines in powered armor had breached and cleared the station in record time. The assembly meeting starts in an hour, Zenra noted. The vote on the Enhanced Defense Initiative is today. Nash nodded. The initiative would formally establish Earth as the primary military arm of the Celestial Alliance. What had begun with a misdirected distress signal had evolved into a complete restructuring of galactic defense doctrine. The conference chamber was packed when they arrived. Warmaster Korg of the Verdant clan stood at the podium, their battle-scarred carapace now bearing the marks of joint human-verdant operations. 6 months ago, Korg began, we thought containing Earth was wisdom. We feared their violence, their aggressive evolution, their primitive approach to technology. The alien warrior gestured to the statistical displays. In those 6 months, human-led operations have reduced piracy by 70% in Alliance space. Slave trading is down 90%. The Crimson Cartel, which terrorized our outer regions for decades, is on the verge of collapse. Ambassador Lyraven, now the head of the Alliance's Defense Council, took the floor. We feared human violence without understanding human protection. Their ships, designed to survive conditions we thought impossible, now guard our most vulnerable colonies. Their primitive weapons, which ignore our advanced shields, now defend our trade routes. The displays showed footage from recent joint operations. Earth Marines training alien forces in combat techniques evolved from Deathworld survival. Human engineers helping modify alien ships with hybrid technology that combined the best of both approaches. When our ship sent that distress signal, Lyraven continued, it was meant for allies who would fight like us. Instead, we found allies who fight like nothing we've ever seen, and that has made all the difference. High Chancellor Vexnar rose to speak. The vote before us today is more than just a military agreement. It is an acknowledgement that our fear of humanity's warrior nature was our greatest mistake. They are not savages to be contained. They are protectors to be embraced. In the observation lounge after the vote, Nash stood with Captain Chen, watching Earth's newest warships conduct training exercises with alien vessels. The vote was unanimous, Chen reported. Earth is now officially the shield arm of the Alliance. Every human ship will carry alien diplomatic crews, and every Alliance diplomatic vessel will have human security teams. Nash smiled. And to think, it all started because of a mathematical error in a distress signal. Not an error, came Zenare's musical voice as the Luminari joined them. A revelation. We called for allies who would fight like us, but we got allies who fight like themselves. And that's exactly what the galaxy needed. The tactical displays showed another pirate base surrendering to human forces. No shots fired, the mere presence of Earth warships was now enough to ensure compliance. The species that had been dismissed as primitive Deathworlders had become the galaxy's most effective peacekeepers. We're receiving requests from 17 more worlds for human protection forces, Chen noted. Our shipyards are operating at maximum capacity to meet demand. And the Crimson Cartel? Nash asked. Their leadership surrendered this morning, Zenra reported. Their exact words were, we submit to Earth authority and request integration into legitimate trade networks. Nash's cybernetic eyes gleamed. Amazing how diplomatic pirates become when faced with weapons their shields can't stop. Outside, Earth's newest flagship, the Humanitarian Force, prepared for its maiden voyage. Its name was a carefully chosen message to the galaxy. Humanity's strength would be used to protect, not conquer. The ships all bore the symbols of both Earth and the Alliance, a partnership born from a misdirected call for help. You know what the irony is? Nash mused, watching the massive vessel power up its engines. If that distress signal had reached its intended destination, the galaxy would still see us as primitives to be contained. Sometimes the wrong call reaches exactly the right people. The Humanitarian Force's engines flared to life, its hybrid human-alien technology representing the future of galactic cooperation. The ship that had been designed to survive anything, crewed by beings from the harshest known world, now carried the hopes of countless civilizations. The Deathworlders had become the galaxy's guardians, and it all started with an SOS meant for someone else.